Hi guys and welcome back to the Hedgerow kitchen. So today I'm going to show you how to make my venison and wild garlic Scotch egg. Now I don't know about you, but I've always loved Scotch eggs. They remind me of trips to the seaside, picnics, family holidays, and I've always loved them, whether you get the small little Scotch eggs or the really big ones. Now this recipe is actually going to make fairly big Scotch egg and going to have whole eggs in it. And it's a super easy recipe as well. It doesn't need to take long either, and it's only got 8 main ingredients. Now let me show you what you're gonna need for this recipe. So first and foremost, the star of the show, the humble egg. You're gonna need 3 eggs for this recipe. Now the quantities that I've got here will basically do you about 3 large Scotch eggs. So you can pair up or down this recipe to make as much or as little as you want. Now in terms of the actual sausage meat, so you're gonna need about 270 grams of that. Now this is the sausage meat from my venison and red wine sausages, which I'll put a link in the comments to. And I actually made these and did a tutorial on how to make them. So I'll put something to pop up, hopefully if my technical skills allow me, or I'll put it in the comments. But this is about 270 grams of those sausages squeezed out. Now, in plain speak, that's about 2 large sausages. Now again, you can put more or less. You're gonna need some whole grain mustard. Now I put about a teaspoon's worth of whole grain mustard into the sausage mix beforehand. And also you're gonna need the wild garlic. Now, listen guys, you might be watching this video at a time of year when wild garlic isn't around. That's totally fine. Just replace the wild garlic with a herb of your choice, whether it's fresh or dried. But at this time of year, which is early March, these guys are out in full force. So just a decent sized handful, don't be too prescriptive about it. So I've got like a handful of wild garlic here and that'd be more than enough. And that's gonna go in with your sausage mix. Then in terms of actually coating it, you're gonna just need some plain flour. We're gonna double layer this. Double layer in breadcrumbs. I know, I live crazily. So we're gonna go with regular kind of breadcrumbs, Paxo breadcrumbs I've got here, really fine stuff. So that's gonna be your first layer. And then you go with thicker panko breadcrumbs here. Absolutely delicious. And then you're gonna just need an egg. So I'm not gonna crack this because I don't need it quite yet, but that is what you're gonna need. So they're the only ingredients you're gonna need. The first thing you need to do in this recipe is to boil these guys. So that I'm gonna show you how long I do that for and my little tips on boiling these to absolute perfection. And then we need to prepare our sausage meat. But then it'll be plain sailing from there because hopefully this will be the most easy to follow tutorial you've ever seen on making Scotch eggs. So if you're ready, let's get cracking. So guys, the number 1 task you need to do in making your Scotch egg is to get your boiled eggs. Now you might think, why Stu, you showing me how to boil an egg? And surely the phrase, teach your granny to suck eggs is quite relevant here. But, there is a key thing to boiling eggs, and it's my little secret. Probably loads of other people know it, but I haven't seen too many people talking about it. And that's actually using white wine vinegar in the water. Now I have no white wine vinegar, I've only got red wine vinegar, and this will do, absolutely do. The reason I add this to the boiling water is it means that if these eggs go into the boiling water and they crack, it'll hold together the egg far better than if actually you didn't have it in there when the white or the yolk might run into the water. So get your red wine or white wine vinegar, it doesn't really matter, and give a decent glug into there. That's the number 1 thing. And of course, get your water sizzling. Now ideally with eggs, I understand you put it into cold water and you can boil it up, but today I don't have time, so I'm gonna put them straight into boiling water. So you've got your eggs here, and these are pretty big eggs, as you can see. Now I reckon these are gonna need about 7 minutes. So pop them into the water and we're gonna give them 7 minutes boiling, and that'll leave us a nice soft yolk, hopefully, in the middle. And then after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them into cold water to cool down. But anyway, let's boil. So that's been 7 minutes now. Perfect amount of time for these eggs. Hopefully they should have a nice runny center. So that's all we need to do now is just take them out, give them a little bash so you slightly break the egg, and get them straight into some cold water. The reason we give it a little bash, it just makes it a bit easier to peel later on when these guys have cooled down. Just a little bash, straight into some cold water. And what we need these eggs to do, we need them to cool down nicely before we can put them inside the sausage meat and the breadcrumbs. And that shouldn't take too long at all if the water is nice and cold. So, once your eggs are all cold, let them cool down, and we're going to move on to making the sausage meat with the mustard and wild garlic. So guys, next stage, we've got our eggs chilling, and we now need to prepare this sausage meat so it's going to be the perfect flavour and consistency around the edge of our Scotch egg. So what we need here is you need your wild garlic, you need your mustard, and you need your sausage. And the first things first, let's get chopping our wild garlic. Now I just said this was just a handful. In this recipe, you do not need to take the stalks off. You can just do leaves, stalks all together. I really don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something, and please let me know if I am. I just don't understand why a lot of recipes call for you to get rid of the stalk of wild garlic. It still tastes of garlic. Why would I want to waste any? So get a good handful of wild garlic, nice sharp knife, and we're gonna give it a really fine chop. We don't want big bits of wild garlic in this sausage meat. And you know what? I'm thinking maybe I've got a bit much here, but we'll see when it goes in. So get that all chopped up, sliced up. Job is almost certainly a good one. So you've got your wild garlic there. You've got 270 grams, and this is venison and red wine sausage, the king flavour of venison sausages, in my opinion. But listen guys, if you can't get venison sausages, you want to try it with another sausage, be my guest. This works with any flavour of sausage as far as I'm concerned. So get your sausage in a slightly bigger bowl. Let's add in about 3/4 of that handful. And then what we're going to do, let's move this out of the way. We're going to add in about a teaspoon of whole grain mustard. Quite literally one of my favourite things in the world. I thought I might have a little spoonful myself. Oh, it tastes so good. And then it's just time to get your hands involved. So let's give this a good mix up. I don't know why that guy's there. So what we want to do is get all those flavours melded together. And this is going to add that really nice flavour when you bite into your Scotch egg. Now, I don't know about you guys, I can have a Scotch egg any time of the day. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. In fact, you know what? Looking at the clock right now, it's 6:15 here anyway. I'm going to make this my dinner tonight. I'm going to have it alongside. Because I'm just a crazy dude. That's how I operate. You know what? I think that's about done. I don't think I needed all of that wild garlic. I'm going to have to use the rest of that in my fermented wild garlic and maybe stick it into pesto. So that's what you want. You want to mix it in, if you can see, till it's about that consistency. And what we want to do now is we want to get this sausage meat and we want to roll it into 3-ish equal size balls. And the reason we're going to do this is each of these balls will then be flattened out to make the edge of our Scotch egg. See, there's ball number 1. I've split that roughly in half. Tell you what, these are going to be beastly Scotch eggs. They're going to be big. They're going to be a meal unto themselves. I mean, surely you can get your 5 a day from a Scotch egg. I mean, surely. All right, there's number 2. And number 3. Weirdly, you know, once I was watching an episode of Celebrity Juice. Judge me if you will. In fact, you know what? That's really big and it's really small. I'm going to nick some of that meat off. Anyway, what I was saying, watching an episode of Celebrity Juice and Keith Lemon, like him or loathe him, playing a game called What is the First Rule of Scotch Egg Club? And it was a play on Fight Club. And the first rule of Scotch Egg Club is you don't ever talk about Scotch Egg Club. Don't really know why I was telling you that, but I've always found it quite funny. Maybe that just shows my strange sense of humour, who knows. There we go. So you've got your three balls, Scotch egg balls, and what we're going to do is once those eggs are cooled, we can flatten these out, wrap them around the egg, and then get making our Scotch egg and get it in the hot oil. On to the next stage. So guys, the next stage of this process is to get your eggs in some flour and then enveloped in the sausage meat and ready for the next stage, which is to coat it in the breadcrumbs. So what you want to do, you just want to get a chopping board, put some cling film down, have another bit of cling film on the side ready, and then what you want to is get your first sausage ball, plonk that in the middle. I'll show you how to do the first one, and then wrestle through the next two. Pop it in the middle, put the other bit of cling film over the top, and then just use your hand to flatten it out to really, not as big as you can go, because you don't want it kind of razor thin, but you want it so big that it's going to easily envelop the egg. And these are pretty big eggs, these ones. So you want it maybe 5 to 6 mil thin, I reckon. And this is going to be a big old Scotch egg, this one. So you know what? I'm just going to test that out. I reckon maybe a bit bigger on this one. So we want to just make that a bit thinner. Just use your hand, bash it down. And you know what? When we actually squeeze this up, as you'll see in a minute, with some cling film, it's going to make it a lot smoother. So there we go. That's about how you want it. So what we want to do now is just take that top layer of cling film back off, making sure it doesn't catch. That wouldn't be very good, would it? The entire thing caught. There we go. I was starting to get a bit worried then, I'm not going to lie. Right, and then what we want to do is you want to get your egg before you put it in the middle and just coat it in flour. So just give it a liberal coating of flour and then plonk right in the middle of your sausage meat. Now, here comes something that's going to better resemble a Scotch egg. So, what I like to do is just get one side up with the cling film and slightly put your hand under and just peel away that part of the meat and then fold it round until the meat hits the other part of the meat. Okay, so then you've enveloped it, and what you want to do then is very carefully bring up the other end. This is quite tricky to show, but you want to bring up the other end as well. And then what I like to do, you've got a little parcel there, it doesn't really look much like a Scotch egg, but just get it and twist it round. It's not going to be a perfect circle, but it'll be pretty damn good. But don't squeeze too hard, because what you don't want to do is pop the egg underneath, because that would not be a good Scotch egg. So if you can see what I'm doing here, just squeeze it round so it really comes together. Right, now we're going to unveil it, and hopefully it will largely have stuck together in a circle shape. I'll say it's a relative success. What you want to do now is just use your fingers just gently to smooth over all the gaps, so that this is a proper, full-on sphere of sausage meat. Maybe that's what I should call them, Scotch spheres of sausage meat. And there you have it. That is your Scotch egg. So it's your venison and wild garlic, your eggs in there, floured egg, and that's that. So what we want to do is we want to do that with all 3 eggs, and then we'll move on to the breading. So here goes. And there we have it, 3 Scotch eggs wrapped in your sausage meat and wild garlic. The next stage is to get these in breadcrumbs. Let's go. So guys, this is when these balls of meat start to look a lot more like actual Scotch eggs. So what you want to do is you want to get your balls of meat, you want to get your flour, you want to get your eggs. That's just 1 egg scrambled. I might need to mix another one. That should be enough for now. Your fine breadcrumbs here for your first layer, and then your panko breadcrumbs here. So what we need to do is we need to get our Scotch egg. First and foremost, coat it in flour all over so that it resembles this. So get it in your flour first, and then we're going to dip it in egg so the whole thing has an egg wash on. And then what we want to do is we want to get it in your first layer of breadcrumbs. So let's put it in the breadcrumbs, give it a little shake about. It's usually the best way to coat it without getting your fingers covered in the breadcrumbs. All right, there we go. So that's completely covered in those breadcrumbs, your first layer of crispiness. But then, because we are rebels at the Hedgerow kitchen, put it back in the egg. Back in the egg, give it another coating. Then we're going to get it in the panko. Whack it in the panko breadcrumbs. Give it a shimmy, shimmy, shake around. Hopefully that's going to flip over at some point. If not, it might give it a little helping hand. And there you have it. That is your Scotch egg ready for the pan. Now I'm going to pop these on here because I'm going to use this plate to take it over to the pan of burning hot oil. And there is the first Scotch egg. It's very light and anemic right now, but that's kind of how it should be. Right, let's get these other 2 done. And there we have it, 3 Scotch eggs ready for the deep fat oil. And I'll show you that in the next stage. Let's do it. So it's the moment of truth, guys. So we have our prepared Scotch eggs here, venison, wild garlic, double layer of breadcrumbs. Oh, it's enough to get excited about. And what I've done is I've prepared a pan of hot vegetable oil here. Now this has been heated up to around 160 degrees, give or take. And what we want to do is we want to get these in here for about 10 minutes. So it's actually quite high, so I might have to do 1 or 2 at a time, but here goes nothing. See you on the other side. Now hopefully these should turn a lovely golden colour in about 10 minutes time. And hopefully, in fact, you know what, that's not going to work, is it? I'm going to do that one later. So, let's wait about 8 to 10 minutes and I'll show you how good these are going to taste. Right, so that is 10 minutes up. It's the moment of truth. Let's get these guys out of the oil. I'm trying not to burn myself. Look at the colour on that. Honestly, that's incredible. Put on the plate. Oh, yes. Look at those guys. Let's go and get eating. So here we go. Our Scotch eggs have just come out of the deep fat fryer. Yeah, it's cool enough to touch. And it's time to see how they turn out. It's the absolute moment of truth here. I really hope I've done a good Scotch egg. So let's go for it. Keep your fingers crossed for me, please. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. I'm sorry, but that is one damn good looking Scotch egg. Oh, I am so happy with how that looks. You know what the only thing to do right now is? It'd be rude not to give these a try. Straight out the pan. Right, here goes. Wow, wow, wow. I'm bowled over. That is a taste sensation. So chuffed with that. You can really taste the wild garlic coming through. The sausage tastes beautiful. We've still got a runny yolk, as you can see, which is the holy grail of Scotch egg making. And that double layer of breadcrumbs is sensational. Oh, I need some more. And you can have this any time of the day. Oh, wow, wow. So chuffed with that. You guys need to make these. Honestly, such an easy, effective recipe, and it looks so good. You can serve this up at a dinner party. You can make it for picnics. You can make it for a day at the beach. Anytime. It's going to be great hot. It's going to be great cold. It's a really good game dish. I'm really happy with that. Good egg, good sausages, good crumb around the outside, chuffed to bits. Right guys, if you make these, I'd love to know how you get on. Put it in the comments, let me know how you get on, what you think of the recipe, what other experimentations with flavours you've done. If it isn't wild garlic season, what have you put in place and what has tasted great? I want to know the good, the bad, the ugly. I'd love to know what you think of my recipe. So please give it a go, let me know, like and comment on the video. And if you could chuck me a subscribe, I'd appreciate it even more, because then you can be first to know when any new recipes are released or any butchery videos of any sort. And it just leaves me to say thank you for watching. I really hope you found this tutorial easy to follow. If you have any questions, let me know, and have a great day.